Wrap up, protect your chains, and make sure your Broncos coverage isn't...
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to the In-COM-PLETE podcast, where your coast-to-coast hosts provide you with news, coverage, and opinions of all things Denver Broncos, plus anything else that is on our minds. I am Ty, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host and best friend, Kelly. Last year was Heartbreak in the Jungle. This time, we are the Jungle Tamers.
I guess. I don't know that Chargers live in a jungle, but okay. Or, yeah, Chargers live in a jungle, but Bengals certainly do.
Yep. So we get to celebrate our first victory podcast since we beat the Titans feels like almost a month. I think it was about a month. No, actually it wasn't a month ago. It was a few weeks ago, but it felt like a month ago.
Well, 4 weeks. You can believe it. The season's 25% over.
I know, that's crazy to me.
It seems really weird.
Like,
not quite 25 because now there's 17 games and not 16, but still.
Right. And actually, with the first quarter of the season over, it's finally time for us to go wake up the guy from Green Day because he wanted us to wake him up when September ends. And we are now in October. Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
No, I usually quote Anna Green Gables.
Okay.
Because her quote is, I am so happy to live in a world that has Octobers.
Yes.
But now as a teacher, October means September is finally over.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. The longest September ever.
Always is.
Not to mention, you return to work in mid-August. Yesterday, first payday of the school year.
Oh, gosh. Woo! Oh, boy. That's rough. That is totally rough.
Yes.
So, we are in October. We're celebrating our first victory podcast since week 1. And it is back to the victory whiskeys. And I'm not sure if you are drinking any victory whiskey. Oh, you got that cup. I love that cup.
I have a blue one too.
Lucky. So lucky. For the fans, so I thought to myself, what would be the best way to celebrate a victory podcast? And then I was at the store and I found this glorious whiskey in a glass football. It is the most glorious thing ever. I'm holding on to it forever until it breaks, which it probably will sometime in my life. But with all that said, cheers to our second win this season, an almost complete game, and yeah, we tamed the Bengals. Now the Bengals can't complain this year. I mean, they have enough to worry about.
Okay, let's cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
And drink. Bengal fans are still going to complain that it was Joe Burrow-less Bengals.
Yes, they are.
So that's just how that's going to be. So to see Bo versus Joe, you're going to have to wait for another season.
Yep. I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. And the only time we'll be able to see the Bengals is if we finish in the same position this time around. So,
or when it's our turn to play the AFC
North.
Yeah. Okay.
Which won't be, if that happens, won't be for another 2 years since we played them, all 4 of them last year.
So, and I don't know that Burrow will still be with the Bengals by then.
Yeah, I was thinking like, I wonder.
So maybe we see Bo versus Joe before then, but
Yes.
if Joe stays with the Bengals, then it'd be next season if we finish the same time. The season after that, if it's time to play the AFC North, but otherwise, we'll have to see how the deck falls.
Yep, we'll see how the deck falls. So I just got a little update. So we were supposed to have a guest. Unfortunately, she's away and is not near a computer. So we will hopefully have Payton Craft on another time during the season. So it is what it is, but let's just jump right into it. It is. Oh, I forgot to tell you. What do we? I always forget to ask you what we're celebrating, and I always get that cheerful victory, and I totally forgot to start it off with that podcast.
I like how this victory didn't have a whole bunch of caveats. Everyone's week 1 victory had all these caveats to it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's still a victory. Then we lost the next 2 games. And I'm like, see, we would just really like a victory. All that other stuff doesn't matter.
Right. All right. So with it being Victory Podcast, we always start off with the bad or ugly, whichever Kelly thinks is the best way to go about it. So with that said, the Broncos did defeat the Bengals by 25 points. You would think that a 25-point victory would be pretty much a lot of good. But I just have a feeling that there's going to be some bad and uglies from you. I mean, there are from me.
Yes.
I want to hear from you first.
I have 2 uglies. The first one are the flags. Flags, and more flags. I understand the Bengals had more flags.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand the Bengals had more flags than first downs. Because they had 11 for 65. But we still committed 7 for 72 yards.
Sheesh.
And 2, I think we got lucky on.
Oh, yeah.
So that would still be 9, even if I said if we don't count those 2. But I understand both teams are terrible, but flags have plagued us. And it doesn't look like it's getting any better.
No, it's all right. So to go off of that, and I'll tie on that flag a little bit. I know you said there were 19 total flags thrown. I know more were thrown for the Bengals, but yeah,
18, 11 plus 7, 18.
Oh, 18. Okay. I know where 19 came from then. Maybe I thought 1 was accepted when it was instead declined. But with that being said, my goodness. And luckily, I think most of our flags came on like those first 2 drives. But oh my gosh, I think what was it? I think it was someone was called for pass interference, and I was about this close to just slamming my fist down. Like, we are still so undisciplined. Like, what are we like? What is Vance Joseph teaching the defense to do defensive holding, pass interference, and illegal contact? And then with the offensive coordinator, why is our offensive line still holding or putting hands in the face?
I don't know. I have it as a bad, but Moss's PI, he has got to stop grabbing the shoulder of the receiver. That is pass interference. Now, granted, after the second time he got called, he seemed to have stopped doing it, and he wasn't called again. But you got to he's got to fix that.
Yep.
The coach has got to fix that. They got to see that on film, because I see it on a replay. So it's got to be on film. You cannot grab the shoulder pad.
Right. Like, it's really not that difficult. Like, there's a way to, like, it's 5 yards, don't contact them. Or like try to make it so you're not grabbing a shoulder, grabbing jersey, or messing with his hands.
And the illegal formation drives me insane.
Yes.
Because one, if you're far out, you can ask the ref, and the ref will tell you to step back.
Right.
And then I'm not a big fan of the screen pass, but sometimes it seems to work when Sean Payton calls it. But then the linemen got to be versed on when they can go.
Yes. And I think it was Wattenberg that was called for illegal man downfield.
Wattenberg's getting called as many times. I'm having Bowles flashbacks.
Yes. I thought of you the multiple times that he was called for penalties. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is Garrett Bowles 2.0. Like, what is going on with, like, did Garrett Bowles get all like the bad juju? Which, I mean, it's been out ever since before Luke Wattenberg came out to an extent. Maybe it was just lingering in that Denver air and went right towards Luke Wattenberg because it needed a place to live. And it found the probably one guy on our whole offensive line who has just been so poor when it comes to these penalties, getting beats. I swear,
he's not a very good center either.
No, and I would firmly believe
I counted 3 high snaps.
Sheesh. Okay, so we're first getting penalized. Now we're snapping the ball too high. Soon we're gonna have a whole Super Bowl 48 flashback, and that's going to really drive Broncos fans into nightmares. But yeah, I think after the first quarter of the season, and it's so funny because Broncos fans and so my belief is that I don't focus in on the draft until after the season's over, or maybe when all hope is lost.
Well, you can evaluate the draft till the season's over.
Exactly. But we already have fans out there or draft analysts like, Denver needs a center. I got the guy for him. No, the guy here, the guy here, the guy here. I'm like, gosh, do I really have to start evaluating guys a quarter of the way into the season because one guy is playing poorly? But I guess that's the name of the game. But speaking, wait, you had one more ugly?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if it was the guy I'm thinking, so.
Bo's interception.
Yes. I had that in bad, but that was pretty bad.
Yeah. I just don't, there was nothing. Like, there's no like, oh, you overthrew it. Oh, you underthrew it. Oh, you threw it to the wrong spot. You thought the guy was going to be there, but he's there. It just, he had the open field to run, and at the last minute he checked it, and there's a guy in white.
There's Demetrius
I have no idea
Knight.
why. Like there's I've watched and I've rewatched it. I've watched it from different angles. And I've got no idea anything that could have run through Bo's head where that made sense.
Mm-hmm. And I actually went to go back and look at that play. There were two, like you added the run. That was one play you could have done. I can't remember who was at running back at the time. Maybe it was tight end, but I'm sure RJ Harvey or J.K. Dobbins were literally like 6 inches from the end zone and no one was covering them. Why didn't you just throw it to them and maybe they fall back in the end zone at the very least? It was like 4th and 2, so you did need to get a touchdown. You could have gotten a first down at the 6-inch line. So just throw it to them, and if they don't get in the end zone, you're at least guaranteed a first down and a new set of downs.
I don't know. I just, there's no justification for it. So
Thankfully, that was to me that was the only mistake he made the entire game. So I'll give him some props there. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say props. That'll be your one mulligan for that game. But my ugly, we actually already just talked about him. I think it's not going to be very long from now until we start seeing Alex Forsyth taking snaps at center, because Luke Wattenberg, my goodness, dude, called for 5 penalties. Luckily, since he denied 2 of them, but as we just mentioned earlier, one player getting penalized 5 times. We were just talking a couple weeks ago about a guy, offensive lineman, who was penalized almost 4 straight times and was benched in that game. Why aren't we benching Luke Wattenberg at this point?
We never bench Bowles.
That's true. We did never bench Bowles. Maybe gave him a seat for a little bit, but my goodness. So I wouldn't be surprised if this continues, that Denver starts looking to replace Luke Wattenberg at center. Basically, my good friend Patrick Keough calls it Wattenberg watch, because his job security is in danger right now. But that was my only ugly. So bad. The only bad I had was that opening drive defense. Bengals went 14 plays. Oh gosh. I don't even have to know what's going on to know the thoughts that are going on in your head. 14 plays, 62 yards, took nearly 6 minutes of time off. Luckily, with that drive actually was also helped out by quite a few defensive penalties. I think Denver was lucky that it only resulted in 3 points, because Browning overthrew, I think it was Higgins, in the end zone. Otherwise, this might have been a completely different game. But you're already pounding the table, so let's hear what you got to say.
Defense, every game this season has given up points on the first drive.
Mm-hmm.
And they have all been field goals. But defense has put us in a hole to start every single game. Now, granted, offense hasn't come out, just lit the sky on fire, but that's it. Why even more defense cannot fold at the beginning of the game.
Right. See, you know Kelly's mad when it gets high pitched mad. You got her mad, Broncos defense, and she's a defense girl. What you doing to her?
I refuse to say it is the defense winning the game and bailing us out when it's the defense that starts by giving the points away.
Yep.
I'm tired of that rhetoric. Oh, the defense always bails us out. The defense is the one giving up the points.
Defense is pretty much the reason we're in this spot. But yeah, that's the only bad I had.
That was one of my bad. Defense always gives up the opening points.
Yep. And I think...
And we've just been fortunate that it's just field goals.
Yes. Like, it's worked against it. Like, this kind of thing we may be able to get away with when we're playing the Titans, a Joe Burrow-less Bengals. But we're not going to get away with that when we're playing teams like next week, like the Eagles or the Chiefs.
The Chargers.
Or the Chargers. The Colts. Yeah, we're not going to get away with that with the higher tier teams this season. So, defense better fix it, or it's going to be a long season for that defense. But it's actually good that we have a whole lot of bad and ugly, at least on my end.
I still have 2 more bad.
My good. That was my last bad, so go for it.
Okay. I have the missed blocks on runs, especially that Wildcat run.
Yes. Okay, I had to think back for a second. Yes, that was...
Yes.
That was... Oh! Okay, I know what you're talking about, because... so... Rewinding to that play...
But I mean, it was all night. If you watch, there's just people missing their block.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm pretty sure maybe 60 to 70% of those were due to one Luke Wattenberg, but maybe I'm just being a little too what's the
I
word?
think Troutman
Critical.
missed a couple too. I don't think it was all one bird, but
Yeah. So maybe the other 30% go towards Adam Trotman. But yeah, I remember. So I think the play was designed for JK. I think it was Dobbins that was running it in. He was supposed to go straight in, but it was blocked, and so he had to go off to the left, which he wasn't expecting, which allowed, I think it was Geno Stone to, or maybe it was, I can't remember what it was. I think it was Geno Stone to get around and like trip him up on his feet right as he was like getting ready to break towards the end zone. So yeah, we run blocking needs a little bit more improvement.
I plead again. Can you please call Shanahan and ask him about the zone blocking? Because it's the best run blocking that there has ever been in the NFL.
Oh yeah. It gave Terrell Davis 2,000 yards.
And then the guy after him.
Yeah, the guy after him, I think, ran like 1,300.
They were round 6 picks from Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then my last one is the drop passes.
The drop passes. Oh.
So Franklin had 2, and there are a couple others. I'm sorry. We can talk about Bo's footwork. We can talk about his accuracy. But when stuff hits your hands, you have to catch it. Period. Your job is to catch the ball.
Mm-hmm. That's your job as a receiver or a running back running a route or a tight end. Or if the ball's coming your way, you're supposed to catch it. Oy. Hopefully there weren't two.
The games would just be so different if there weren't so many badly dropped passes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Definitely could have been a lot different. Thankfully it didn't provide too bad of an impact in a negative light, but I'm trying to figure out if I think the offense as a whole kind of gets out of sync for like the first few minutes of the game, and then they start picking it up. But as we mentioned with the defense, who's allowing the points to be scored, you got to play a whole 60 minutes, and that includes setting your feet, making the throws, catching the balls, hitting those lanes, blocking for the running back, blocking for anybody. Like I would love to see a full 60-minute game played. If we lose it, then the other team was better that day. But I don't think, even though this was as close to a perfect 60 minutes that I've seen, there's still some things that we need to pick at. And it all starts with starting the game right on the right foot. But we hopefully had a lot more good than anything. Speaking of running, for the first time in 38 games, we had a 100-yard rusher. And his name is J.K. Dobbins. 16 carries, 101 yards. Literally, I find it funny that Sean Payton pulled him from the game as soon as he got the 100 yards. Like, we need to break this streak. Like, he knew the streak was there. The bad streak was on. Like, we just need to end this right now. We're not risking you losing any yards. So you can come out of the game. RJ Harvey can take it. But although I think pretty much by the time he hit his 100 yards, the game was well out of reach already.
Right. So yes, it's the first time since 2022, which is the week 18 of 2022. And that was the longest streak in the NFL to not have 100-yard rusher. Do you know who gained the 100 yards for the Broncos in week 18 of 2022?
I think I know who. Let me just think of his name. Was it Latavius Murray by any chance?
Yes, it was.
Ooh. See, for some reason, I had kind of thought that he was. For some reason, I thought he was like before 2020, but I think I'm thinking of someone else. But so yes, Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray, last 100-yard rusher. Gosh, it's surprising because of the amount of running backs who we thought could have broken it between him and J.K. Dobbins. I mean, you had, I think Philip Lindsay did have 100 yards prior to that, but you still had Melvin Gordon. You had Javonte. I'm surprised that Javonte Williams never rushed for 100 yards in a Bronco uniform. I think that's the stat that shocks me the most, that he never got over 100 yards rushing.
No one had in 2023 or 2024.
And the sad part about that, oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. I keep thinking 23 and 24 were both Russell Wilson years, but it was 22 and 23 that were the Russell Wilson years. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now you know how long it's been since we've had a 100-yard rusher that I can't even get my facts straight. But go ahead before I lose any more facts.
Okay, I got the Bengals didn't cross the 50-yard line after the first drive.
Yes, they made that known in almost every little thing I listened to since that game, which kudos to them for not letting us the 50-yard line, but no, there's no but. It was great. At least they finally locked down after that first drive. Sorry. Nick Bonito still living up to his contract as of right now, getting a sack and a half and a few quarterback hurries. So we're still feeling Bonito right now.
Yeah, so I had the 3 sacks. Bonito's 1.5. Jay Franklin Myers 1, and then Cooper's half a sack. What's more impressive about those 3 sacks is we only blitzed 4 of the 29 dropbacks.
Wow.
And on top of that, we still generated 9 pressures.
Wow.
And there's a clip of a play that I see where Denver only sent 3.
Mm-hmm. And they still got the quarterback.
3. 2 of them did. The Bonito and Cooper broke free. When you show that play, they show it. 3 people stayed on Jared Allen.
Wow.
And Bonito and Cooper beat their guy. And they hit a quarterback.
My goodness. I didn't realize it was on that one play. My goodness. Rushing 3 and we still get into the quarterback.
Rushing 3 and 2 got to the quarterback. We rushed 3 and 2 got to the.
That is absolutely wild. Kudos on that one for sure. Oh, I wonder if since these offensive lines okay, but that I think that shows more on what Cooper and Bonito can do than the offensive line itself. My one good. So I did gripe about Patrick Surtain's pass interference. So this was supposed to be the battle between Jamar Chase versus Patrick Surtain II. These guys go all the way back to their college days with the Alabama versus LSU battles. So Patrick Surtain allowed only 1 reception for 8 yards across 13 coverage matchups with Jamar Chase, including 0 receptions on 10 matchups in man coverage. Here's your little stat in the battle between Surtain versus PS2 versus Jamar Chase. Surtain is now matched up against Jamar Chase on 54 career routes and has allowed only 4 receptions for 35 yards.
Yeah, I have that. Jamar Chase This was the 4th fewest yards allowed for him.
Mhm.
And in those 4 fewest yards, Patrick Surtain's responsible for 2 of them.
Yep. Let's dose them. And he's been covered so much by PS2. We were seeing Jamar Chase shouting at Zach Taylor on the sidelines, like, get me the ball. Well, kind of hard when you got PS2 on you.
But is that what he was shouting?
Oh, I don't know if it was.
Yeah.
That's what we're thinking is what he's shouting.
Yeah. See, I don't know what he was frustrated at. So he may be frustrated that the Bengals aren't looking to go get Jameis Winston or someone.
Or Russell Wilson.
I don't know that they want Russell Wilson, but
that's fair. Yep.
Might be worth a try.
I mean, you gotta try at some point. Oh, that was all I had. We're good.
Okay, I have RJ Harvey got his first NFL TD. Oh, and he was nominated for Rookie of the Week.
Yay. I thought what was really cool is that Bo Nix actually went out of his way to give RJ Harvey the football once he scored that touchdown.
That's because Corton Sutton went out of his way to make sure Bo Nix got the first touchdown pass that Bo threw.
Yes. That's true. See, these guys love each other. Like here is your memory of scoring your very first touchdown or throwing your very first touchdown or
you
rushing
for your touchdown. Of Bo's wife and Cortland Sutton's wife that have Bo and Cortland as stepbrothers.
Yes, I did see that. I thought that was great. Although I was like, but they didn't really fight as much as Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly did, but it's so clever. I like it. It's kind of like
maybe they had a did we just become best friends moment though.
Oh, that's a good point. Yes. Nice. Good one there. Like, oh, now maybe we'll see videos of them doing karate in the garage. Building bunk beds that end up falling apart.
If we keep winning.
If we keep winning.
So that's the last little note I have on this game, and then I'm done. I understand this is a Burrow-less Bengals. I understand I did not feel confident we would beat a Burrow-led Bengals, but part of being a good team is you win the games in front of you.
Absolutely.
So if your Chargers lost,
they did.
Giants had not won a game. So if the Chargers had won, everybody would have said, well, of course they won. The Chargers are undefeated. The Giants haven't been able to pull off a victory yet, of course. But obviously there's a flaw in their game plan because they could not win the game in front of them.
Nope.
And the 49ers really struggled with the Saints.
Jaguars? Oh, no, the Bills. The Bills struggled with the Saints.
Bills, sorry. The Bills struggled with the Saints.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of that, and when I saw
they finally turned the corner, and then the score started to look like it was supposed to look. But the first half, I'm like,
yeah, I'm like, okay, it's like 7-0 Bills. Like, okay, that's not surprising. 7-17. It's like, oh, okay, that's. And then it's like 14-10, and then I was like, Bills, you're at home against this undefeated team, and this winless team who has Spencer Rattler as their quarterback. They are pretty much getting ready for whatever. They're trying to possibly tank for Arch, but you gotta go win that game. It's not looking very convincing when I think they only won by like 12 points against them. Like, Bills, that's not a good
that
look.
used to be a lot in the NFL.
It used to be a lot in the NFL. Not so much now. Since we're actually already talking. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I also like to this stat where last year at this same time, Bo Nix had 660 yards passing. This year he has 861. And he would have a lot more if they stopped dropping his passes. He had 2 touchdowns by this time last year.
Yes.
He has 8 touchdowns this year.
Passing and rushing? Or just passing?
Total touchdowns.
Okay, gotcha.
Total.
All right, perfect.
He had 4 interceptions by this time last year.
Mm-hmm.
He has 4 interceptions by this time this year. He's averaging 1 a game, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
But and then I'd also like to point out in this game with the Bengals, 26% of the plays were play action.
Falling maybe a little bit to his strength. He likes to move on the throw on the move, excuse me.
Yeah, everyone's complaining about his footwork and stuff, and he likes to throw on the move and he doesn't like to plant his feet. When he tries to plant his feet, he's not doing it right. That's why he's not throwing with accuracy. And I have questioned Sean Payton's decisions to not play to his strengths and to not let him throw in the middle of the field where he likes to throw, and the 8, 10, 12-yard passes that he likes to throw to. And you saw a whole lot more of those this week.
Mm-hmm.
And we successfully ran the ball, and you used the run to set up the pass.
Yes. And it was set up perfectly.
Yes.
Most of the time it was. Sorry, I shouldn't say all the time.
This Bo Nix has fallen off. Bo Nix isn't the guy. The stats don't really say that.
No. The stats say he's
Bo Nix is
not.
Well. We have had quarterbacks where the quarterbacks are the complete problem.
Mm-hmm. It's like the situation.
I don't think that's true with Bo Nix.
Mm-mm. It's like Bo Nix is trying to become more the solution, where in the past you get that little meme that goes, are you going to be part of the problem or are you going to be part of the solution? Our Broncos quarterback is going to say, I'm going to be the whole problem. So luckily we have a quarterback that would rather find solutions instead of problems. And it's a good thing to have. But since we were talking a little bit about it, this game going into our memory is a good one, or just one that, okay, we had a good win. Still some things to fix on, but we'll take it.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
A win is a win. I mean, I said this week 1. A victory is a victory.
That's true.
So, sometimes you win and you're like, well, that's just how the cookie crumbles. And sometimes you lose on a leverage penalty.
I think it's still crazy that we if those 2 kicks didn't go through, we technically would be 4-0 right now. But that's how like you said, that's how the cookie crumbles.
We haven't been trailing in the 4th quarter
at all this season.
Think of that stat. We have led every second of every 4th quarter game and still have managed to be a 50-50 ball club. That is one of those stats when you get those crazy NFL stats that don't sound true. That is one that doesn't sound true.
Yes. And I expect us to find that stat when we're exploring TikTok later down the road. But we were talking a little bit about it. Let's go around the NFL. I think I went first last week, so I'm going to let you take the floor for this week for the first topic.
Just to kind of rub it into Russ Wilson. Jackson Dart is the first quarterback with a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and 50-plus rushing yards in his first career start since
Bo Nix. Oh, tell me.
Tim Tebow.
Nuh-uh. No way. Oh my gosh, that's a
Tebow.
Wow, that's a core memory right there. Woo!
And he led the Giants to victory
Yep.
after Russ Wilson couldn't find a W.
It's so interesting to me that you have this longtime vet who has won a Super Bowl, has been to 2, and it also just is crazy how much he has fallen off. And he loses.
Well, he's not on a good team.
Fair enough.
Right. So this is something that athletes talk about. One, I think how John Elway and Peyton Manning retired, and I know others have retired the same way. When you retire after a Super Bowl win, you do and Elway literally finally crested and got to the top of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And very fortunately got to do a victory lap up there and win a second one and retire. He didn't have to retire after the 3 losses. He didn't have to retire in those years between the last loss and the next time he got to go back in Super Bowl 33.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He got, so he kind of went way up a mountain and kind of started to fall back down and had to go back up. And then he got to exit stage right in all the glory. Peyton kind of did the same thing. He was really good, got a Super Bowl, then, had some off years and then got another one and, set a whole bunch of records, got to prove that he could, after his neck injury that he was still good to go. And then, got to go out on top.
Right.
It is a struggle that you get to go that way. But what if you stay too long and you end up in a place where Russell Wilson is, where people don't really trust him?
Right.
They don't trust him to quarterback well. They don't trust him to come in and lead a team. They don't trust him to be a good veteran presence.
Mm-hmm.
Now your since you've been at the top is going to be so far down. He's sliding so far down the mountain and he's going to have to exit. And people are going to be like, well, yeah, he won one. But it's a distant memory.
Yeah. Very, very distant memory. So, not much. I really think, and it kind of still amazes me that Russell Wilson, kudos to him that he wants to play. He still thinks he believes that he has a lot left in the tank, but there's
a lot of athletes. Jerry Rice to, was it the Falcons? Where did he go? That's just so.
Jerry Rice, he went, I think he was a 49er. Oh, he went to the Raiders.
No, then he went somewhere after that. That's like a very hard to find jersey because it's like.
Let's see, Jerry Rice.
Because he made it to the Super Bowl with the Raiders.
Yeah, I think you are right. So he's with the 49ers for all those years. Then he was with the Raiders. Then he went to the Seahawks.
The Seahawks. I knew it was a bird.
And then he was actually on Denver's practice squad to end his
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that because one of my dear friends who we've been friends for 22 years now, she was very worried because we were somewhere and I had on a Broncos shirt and she didn't know me very well. And the guy behind the counter said, "Oh, you just signed the best player." And I was like, "Who are you talking about?" And he's like, "Jerry Rice." I said, "Jerry Rice is what? He's done." And he's like, "No, you check it. Broncos winning the Super Bowl this year." And I was like, "Okay, after the season ends, if the Broncos haven't won the Super Bowl, I expect free food here." And afterwards, she walked away. She's like, "That made me really nervous. I didn't know how loud or how angry you were going to start that fight." And I'm like, "No, we're just talking. It was just talking." But she was like, "Oh, she's going to get mad." And I'm like, "No, it's just." Jerry Rice is not, and then he didn't even make the team. But it's the Seahawks. It's the Seahawks. I always know it's a bird, and I always pick the wrong bird.
Right.
So, and like Dorsett coming to the Broncos was kind of
Yeah, that one was really random.
past his prime. And I mean, there's a couple others where you're like, oh, this just, And so I saw an interview a week and a half ago with Justin Simmons.
Mhm.
And they asked him, they said, have you officially retired? And he said, no, I mean, I'm staying in shape. I'm working hard every day. If the phone rings, I'm ready. He said, but I'm only going to go to a team that has a shot at the championship.
That's fair.
Because the same thing, he's not going to come back and put his body do that and do all that work to finish 5-12 again.
Right.
He knows what that feels like.
Yeah.
He wants to finish the other way, 12-5.
Yep. Yeah. So, man, Russell Wilson, you do you, but sometimes you just have to know. But maybe it's time to know what will happen sooner rather than later. But I digress. Oh, that's why that's one of mine. All right, I want to talk about this because I have a feeling that you and I are going to talk in very passionate ways about this one. I want to talk about the Packers-Cowboys game. The fact that both teams scored 40 points and it ended in a freaking tie. I'm sorry.
Highest tie score in league history. The first one being a 64 Packer Patriot game, a Raider Patriot game in 1964.
Oh wow. 64.
They tied it.
I was like 64.
They tied it.
Sorry.
They tied at 43.
Oh, I thought you said they tied it like 64 all. I was like, that would have been cool. 64 in 1964. But
oh no. Yeah. In 1964, the Raiders and the Patriots tied at 43. So once upon a time, the NFL had done away with ties.
Yes.
And I remember this because I remember when I started learning about football history and I would see these stats like 7-3-1.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what the one was. It's a win, a loss, and a what? And they used to be able to tie. For a while, the NFL, you could not tie. Yeah. What I think happened with TV and commercial and sponsors is sometimes the games that ended in a tie went on too long.
Yeah.
And so I remember when they changed it to it's going to be 1 quarter at 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 1 quarter at 10 minutes, which isn't a quarter. But I guess technically a 5th quarter isn't a quarter either. But still, that's like a third less time. Mm-hmm. Now suddenly everyone, because the Packers and Cowboys tied, are mad and go, this is all the Bills' fault because the Bills couldn't beat the Chiefs and they whined, the NFL caved. Everyone hates a tie. And it was a bad rule that only one team may get a possession.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've talked about this before, but if not, if Kelly plays commish, we doing college overtime rules. You get the ball in the 25, 4 downs.
Mm-hmm.
No kicking. You score, you don't. If you get the touchdown, you go for 2.
Yep.
You score the touchdown and go for and miss, the other team, other 25, they got to score the touchdown and get 2.
And then I think
if they score and miss the 2, then it's back to the other side. Because eventually someone's gonna not catch the ball. Someone's not gonna make the throw.
yet. And
I know, and how they count is that's the first overtime, that's the second overtime, that's third overtime. So we've all seen those college things. Oh, they went to 6 overtimes, but the overtimes 4 plays.
Yes.
It's not that much time. So I hate ties. I think it should go back to where, I mean, I don't hate you.
Nice play word.
I think it's ridiculous that you can tie in the NFL. And this has been my longest thing, because when everyone says, what's your beef with soccer? My number one thing is, I don't want to put all that energy into a game and it's a tie.
Right?
Yes, if I put all that energy into the game and my team loses, I'm heartbroken. But it's a win or a loss. What do you do? What do you do with a tie?
It does. I was thinking about it. It doesn't really do
We
much.
didn't lose, but we didn't win. We're tired. We're sore. And it does. I know. And before all you soccer fans come at me, I know there's a point system behind the win, loss, and ties. I understand. I get it. Just like in race car driving, I get there's a whole point system that I could go learn and figure it out. It's still stupid to invest that much time and cheer and be like, okay, all done.
Oh, sorry. Woo.
So that's it. That, or, put the kickers out there.
Yeah, I mean, soccer has penalty kicks.
5-yarder. You both make it, we're going to 40. You both make it, we go into 45. Or just keep moving you back till someone misses a kick. I don't know. I mean, I don't like the tie.
I kind of like the fact that how college does it is now that it's you score, then if the other team scores, I think goes the second overtime. If you score a touchdown, you have to go for 2. And then if they both score a touchdown, go for 2. Then at the third overtime, you just get 1 play to get into the end zone. You get 2 points. You don't get in, game's over. That's really how the game should be played. And I honestly, when thinking about when it comes to ties, I like the idea, like, hey, you want to make it soccer related? Like you said, kick field goals. Soccer has penalty kicks if the game ends in extra time, 30 extra minutes, and no team still scores, you go right to penalty kicks. So maybe you get to the point where if it goes to the first overtime, you get past 10 minutes and there's still not a winner, kick field goals until someone wins. That needs to be a Kelly Place commish rule right there. But yeah, they're not happening as often as I have been seeing. But yeah, for me, ties are just based on soccer because you can get the points on everything. And the ties just in the NFL at times will mess with the tiebreakers so poorly where it's like, oh, I can't remember. There was one season where a team finished, I think it was going to be like 9-6-1. And they like missed the playoffs because of that one tie, because the one team finished, I can't remember what the record was, but it was just such a bizarre ruling. So if you're going to end the game in ties, make it so that way it either hurts, benefits, basically find a middle ground for that if you're just going to keep ties. Otherwise, we need to abolish the overtime rule. In the NFL, you need to go to college rules or take our advice. The score is still tied for 10 minutes, kick field goals.
Do something.
That's all I had around the NFL though. So,
I have more injuries.
Okay. Oh, Malik Neighbors is one of them, I'm guessing.
He who shall not be named, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I have some thoughts on the he who not be named, but I'm going to keep them to myself. So,
This is looking for a bad year of injuries. It's just
And of some key players too.
yes. And I sent you the TikTok. Because part of the frustration when you're watching a game and someone's not performing well and they go, that's it. Is real life football is not like fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I got 2 new players today because I had neighbors and I'm like, well, shit, I gotta get a different running back. And I had Burrow and but I need a different quarterback. So and then the other quarterbacks I had are on buys, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to play. And my team that has Burrow finally won a game this year or this week. Fucking Joe Burrow, my fantasy quarterback, and just not winning with him. And then he's hurt. And then the other guy's out on a bye. So I was like, I gotta go get another quarterback. That doesn't happen in real life.
Mm-hmm.
There's no just endless, let me real quick, for a buck, let the waiver go through. So, but it's significant. But I sent you the TikTok where people are drafting Henry Ruggs.
Oh yeah, in which I responded to.
How is he on a roster?
Sometimes
how
players
is he available to draft?
Some players slip through the cracks, I guess.
But yeah, Ruggs is in prison, y'all.
Yeah, he's in prison for a little.
This isn't the movie Major League. They ain't gonna let him out early for your fantasy football pick. And it was something like a couple thousand people had drafted him, like 4,400 people. And it's like, what the hell are you watching? And where are you playing fantasy football for? I still don't understand because, like, I can't find Ruggs on our rosters.
I don't think I've seen him either.
Yeah, he's not an available player in the leagues that we play in.
So someone's not paying attention then. So, that's
so. If you're one of the 4,400 people that have drafted Ruggs on your fantasy, you need to contact your commissioner and ask for your money back, and you need to draft somebody else because he ain't gonna get you any points.
No, he's not getting points for what, another 2 years or something like that.
And that's if he get returns to the NFL.
Yeah, that's true. Someone died. A person and animal died. So don't know if you come back from that.
Oh, and I have one more thing.
Go ahead.
I know I have my own personal beef and that Kyle Murray is my mortal enemy. But you know that 6 throws to Marvin Harrison Jr. have turned into interceptions?
Because defenses are predicting where he's going to go?
No, they bounce off of his hands or he stopped running the route. Like 6 throws to him have become interceptions. That's just a strange stat to have.
That is a very strange stat. Interesting.
Or, it goes through his hands and falls right into the defender's hands. Like
Butterfingers.
Well, I mean, there's 6 different ways it's happened. And it's just like, he can't catch a break, which I feel bad because, Marvin Harrison was a good player. To see his son make a roster, it's like I root for all the McCaffreys,
Mm-hmm.
Which I think they both scored a touchdown this weekend.
I believe you're correct.
With the Commanders and the 49ers.
Yeah, Chris.
So
yes. So
mm-hmm. I would like to see Marvin Harrison Jr. do well. So this is a weird But this is a weird, like, thing that instead of catching the ball, they're becoming interceptions. Like,
Whew.
I just thought it was an interesting stat.
That is very interesting. Especially since Marvin Harrison's pretty much well known for his hands, but maybe it's just a little tiny black cloud is over his head, and it'll clear away soon. But only time will tell on that one. I think I might have had another one, but no, I think that was it. So, with that said, now that we talked about, now I know what I was going to say. Game of the week. I totally forgot about that. I actually need to look because I cannot remember who's playing this week. I know this is the first week of buys. Let's see. Let's see who's playing this week. Here we go.
Okay, well, while you look, since you didn't take notes, obviously.
Sorry, I came ill prepared this portion of it.
I'm choosing the Bucs Seahawks game, which I know I chose the Bucs game last week. Or no, I didn't. I picked the Bucs game before. I picked the Packer Dallas game. That's what I picked.
Yeah, I'm the one that picked the Packers game last week. No, the Bucs game last week.
Oh, okay. So I'm doing it again because both teams are 3-1. Both teams will be in their throwback jerseys.
Yes.
It'd be interesting to see if Baker can rebound after the loss to the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks are on a 3-game win streak, though, and hot. The Seahawks also played the Thursday night game, so they have a longer rest period to help them. Seattle defense is giving up 16.8 points per game, and Darnold has a 106.5 passer rating and 905 yards already this season.
Nice.
And Baker is Baker. So it should be a good matchup. It should be a good game with some good quarterback play. Plus, any excuse to see them creamsicle uniforms.
I kind of like their creamsicle uniforms, honestly.
They're the bestest.
They're the bestest. All right, so I did find
I miss them. I don't like the new. When the Bucs rolled out the new ones, I didn't like it.
You don't like the...
I do not like the new Buccaneers. I would sign any petition there was to make them go back. I also don't like the new Patriots. I like the revolutionary guy on the helmets.
That's fair.
I think those old school ones are just better. Better.
How about the Dolphins ones?
I can't tell a difference between the Dolphins one. It's the same with the Chargers. The Chargers, like real powder blue jersey, I like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's the best one. But like the Chargers and the Rams sometimes have made these little tweaks and they say, oh, look, the New Jersey. And I'm like, huh? And the Dolphins are kind of like that, where I'm like, what did you change? Like, I think I have that thing. So like in general, males do not see color the same as females, and they can't see depth of color as well. And that's why there's a stereotypical joke about the paint on the wall and the women say that the wife saying, they're so different. And the husband sitting there going, oh my God, it looks like the exact same color. They all look like the same color. I think I have that because I don't see difference in color as strongly as some of my female friends.
Mm.
Like when I go, oh, that's burgundy. They go, oh, that's not burgundy. That's maroon. And I put things on the wall and I'm like, I don't see a difference. I don't see it. And that's also why, like when I test, because of the age that I teach, when I test the boys' colors, I use very specific colorblind approved colors because so many boys can't yet see the difference between orange and yellow and red and pink.
Interesting.
And it's a known thing. Overall, I mean, I know the one guy that can see colors in 4K is going to be one of our listeners and be like, I see colors is fine. I'm not talking about you. Overall, in general, men don't see depth of color the same, and that's why there's a stereotypical joke. That's why in every sitcom there is a joke about painting something and the woman being upset because the color's so wrong, and you flash to the two colors and you're like, I don't see a difference. So I don't know who makes all the paints in the paint store.
Right.
But there's times I picked up cards and I'm looking at the different cards and you're like, and it's this shade, this ombre and this ombre, but like I'll look at this one and this one, and to me they look like the same color, but they got two different names on them.
Yep.
So sometimes it's hard for me to evaluate the jerseys, and so whatever the Dolphins did, I don't quite see it. Yeah. Now the black stuff that they were wearing, that teal and that orange just does not look good on black.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's not a change they made. That's the fight jerseys or the
rival jerseys.
Rival jerseys or whatever. It's the same with some of the white jerseys that came out as the rival jerseys. I'm like, these are different.
I don't
These
see
are different than the other white ones. Like, okay, whatever. So, it
is what it is.
Yeah. So, the Dolphins have always had the dolphin on the helmet. I don't love the color teal and, but it's fine. It's a very Miami coded color to me.
Right.
Like when I see those colors, I think Miami. Mm-hmm. I think, Miami Vice and Don Johnson with his pastel t-shirts and his suit jacket and his loafers. Like it looks very Miami to me.
Right.
But Tampa Bay's creamsicles are a much better uniform than what they've got going now.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. So since
it's the same they tell me the Raiders have changed over the years, and I'm like,
I don't see anything.
Really? It looks like silver and black.
That's silver and black to me.
It looks silver and black to me. Okay, whatever. I guess the guy has changed a little bit or whatever, but I would be upset if the Raiders went with a different look because this is the Raider look.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas with the star. Like if they went to something different, I'd be like, why are we not just with the star?
Right.
If the Packers went away from the G, I'd be like, what are you doing? So I just prefer, the revolutionary guy for the Patriot and the creamsicles for Tampa Bay. And
Kelly likes what she likes.
That and what, $8 will get you a coffee at Starbucks. That's just my opinion. That's, that's what I think.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. That did give me a lot of time to actually pick a game of the week. So thank you for that wonderful thing. So I am going, and I really shouldn't, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to pick the Chiefs and the Jaguars. And the biggest reason is I want to see. So the Jaguars are 3-1. Their only loss came to the team that we beat, the Cincinnati Bengals. They got a pretty good win against the 49ers team. Granted, they are a little banged up. So maybe that was like their big win so far. That was their big win as of right now. This next game is going to pretty much determine if the Jaguars are at least for real for at least the first half of the season. Because they've only beaten the Panthers. They lost to the Bengals. They've beaten the Texans. And they've beaten the 49ers. One interesting stat. So you know how for a while last year Bo Nix was the leading rusher for the Denver Broncos?
Yes.
Guess who's the leading rusher for the Kansas City Chiefs this year?
The Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes with 130 rushing yards in 4 games, meaning that Kansas City is not really utilizing their running game a lot. Patrick Mahomes has 939 passing yards. Oh, I'm sorry, not Patrick Mahomes. Kermit the Frog has 939 passing yards on 142 attempts.
It's not Kermit the Frog. It's Dirty Kermit.
Sorry, Dirty Kermit.
Because I like Kermit the Frog. I don't like Patrick Mahomes.
It's fair. 7 touchdowns and only 1 interception. Trevor Lawrence has 845 passing yards, but he has 5 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. It's in Jacksonville. It's on Monday Night Football. We'll find out for sure if Jacksonville is for real coming up in the next. Well, we'll find out Monday night if they're for real. But something tells me that while on paper this looks like a good game, this could be the wake-up call that Jacksonville's like, maybe it's not. Maybe our 3-1 record is fool's gold per se.
Or maybe Sunshine has finally made the leap.
Maybe. Oh, Sunshine. Sorry, I finally got the reference. Sunshine.
You know, if he had Denver Bronco, we'd have run him out of town by now. But
Absolutely. Yep.
Jacksonville has stuck with them, and maybe he's finally turned that corner.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. Oh no, that's right. I don't know why I keep thinking Trevor Lawrence is older than he is. Because I keep thinking that he led the team to the AFC Championship game in 2018. But I'm like, wait, he wasn't drafted till like 2 years later. So I don't know what's making me think. Oh, he's the one that led the Jaguars after the Chargers blew that lead in the wild card game. That's what I'm thinking of. Oh, and it circles back to Chargers gonna Charger. All right. With that said, we've talked about the games that you should be paying attention to. Now we'll turn our attention to our game. It's in my backyard. Not really backyard, but 40 minutes away from me, we'll say that, without giving too much away where I'm living right now. So Philadelphia is one of the 2 undefeated teams. Them and Buffalo are. It is Denver's first and only 1 p.m. East Coast game. I know they have a 1 o'clock game, but it's technically 12 Central because they'll be in Houston. It's their one and only far East Coast game, unless you want to talk about going as far as East Coast as past the Atlantic Ocean and into London, where they'll play at 9:30 a.m. my time or 6:30 a.m. Kelly time. Thinking next week those mimosas are going to be doing you some good. The Eagles offense, and I was doing a little bit of research today, they haven't done much. So the Eagles are the prime example of right now, these first 4 games, that defense wins championships, because it's been their defense that has kind of led them through these first 4 games. And for the second straight week last week, they ended up blocking a kick and returning it for a touchdown. So that's going to be the one thing I need Denver to just really, really focus in on, is to don't let Philadelphia be anywhere near Jeremy Crawshaw, or Will Lutz, because it just spells disaster. Denver struggles very badly. Okay, maybe not very badly, but decently badly against mobile quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts is a mobile quarterback. So I'm going to need Alex Singleton to wrap up and tackle if Jalen Hurts starts running, because once he starts running, it's not going to be good. This game will feature the offensive player of the year and the defensive player of the year playing on opposite sides, with Saquon Barkley for the Eagles and Patrick Surtain for the Broncos. The Philadelphia doesn't have a lot of strong receiver play right now. Devonta Smith, though, the last time we played Philly, got 2 touchdowns in his rookie year in 2021, and that ended up becoming somewhat the difference of the game. Although I think the big one was, you're not going to like hearing his name. Oh, no, was it him? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was Melvin. No, maybe it wasn't Melvin Gordon. But we had, there's one guy who just fumbled so much before Melvin Gordon. I can't remember his name, but gosh, that was the play that like turned things around. Sorry, got a little off track there. For me, the keys of the game: limit mistakes, keep Philadelphia away from the kickers, keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket, and shut down Saquon Barkley. Although he has kind of, I think Barkley's like averaging 4.1 yards per carry this season, which is not offensive rookie. I mean, he was offensive rookie of the year, but offensive player of the year numbers. So Philadelphia is kind of in their slow start mode right now to the season. But if they start getting things together, it's going to be bad news for the rest of the league. So, and then I'm going to give you one little stat. Denver has played in Philadelphia 7 times. Denver has lost 6 of 7 games in Philadelphia. So that can kind of tell you where I'm leaning towards in this game. If our game-by-game predictions to start the year didn't tell you already. Our only win against the Eagles in Philadelphia, 1986, where we won 33-7. And I think I'm statted out.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we're coming off a short week. It's the early East Coast games, which we fairly don't do well in. The Eagles have won 10 straight and 20 of their last 21. We're going up against Big Fangio. We could call this his revenge game. Mm-hmm. And, offensive player of the year versus defensive player of the year. I don't think we stand a chance.
Like, you think it's going to be more than 2 scores?
When the last time we were in Philly, they put a 50 on us.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me because I was at that game.
Yeah. So, I we still have just too many problems. We're going to start committing penalties. The Eagles aren't going to need our help getting yards. We're still going to give it to them. They get in their rhythm and they get unstoppable. We can't find a rhythm. I mean, we kind of did this last time, but again, it was such a very bad team. The Eagles defense is not as bad as the Bengals defense. They may not let us start a rhythm, and when we fall apart completely. We get a defense that can't get off the field. We get an offense that can't move the ball. So, and then our special teams decide to do whatever. So, I'm really worried about how ugly this could turn.
Yeah.
So I'm not changing my pick. I think, and again, I always pick the road divisional games as losses. I always pick early East Coast game as losses because we just don't do well.
Yeah.
And I don't get Sean's Payton idea of, we're staying on our same time zone, because it didn't work for Indy.
It definitely did not work for Indy.
So, the Eagles are due a loss. We could be their trap game. Maybe they don't watch the trap. But it'd be a real fluky win if we won.
Yeah, because I'm actually thinking, so after Philadelphia plays us, they actually have to get ready for a Thursday night game against Jackson Dart and the Giants. So, I mean, they have to go, I think, on the road to play the Giants. So that it could be right. This could be Philadelphia's trap game if they're not careful. One thing I do want to talk about a little bit. So this will be the first. No, I think we have gone against it before, but this will be the first time in a while that Denver has gone up against a team that invented the tush push, or as what they call it here, the brotherly shove. So I have a quote from Sean Payton on how he plans on his thoughts on the tush push. I was the one that stood up in favor of it. The reason I stood up in favor is pretty simple. If the powers to be don't want it for aesthetic reasons or competitive reasons, or it's hard to officiate, etc., I've been involved in those meetings for a long time, and when all of a sudden health and safety was pulled into that, which might be the safest play in football, and this is his words, my bullshit nose kind of went up. It's a quarterback sneak, and I think credit Philadelphia. I'm one that looks at it as long as the line of scrimmage is clean, that's a well-run quarterback sneak. When you really evaluate it, it's more the technique of the sneak than the push. You go all the way back to Green Bay against Dallas in the Ice Bowl, and Bart Starr crosses the goal line with someone pushing a little bit behind him. So I was the one that was in favor of leaving it alone on Philly's side. So how does Denver stop it? Here was E.J. Jones' quote. First and foremost, don't get in short yardage situations. That's with any team. And then if it arises, and this is the funniest thing, if it arises, man, just grab your nuts and try our best to stop it. So far, no team has found a way to stop it. Can Denver be the first? Maybe, but we shall see. And as you can see, she is not amused at all. But yes, I'm also going to keep it as a loss. If we play well, could be an upset. But actually, I'll even say this. I'll do a contest for our listeners and viewers if we win this game. I'll leave it at that. We'll do I'll do a contest if we win this game. But that's all I've got to say. And on that note, I think that's all I have this week.
Okay. Then, as always, you can find me at Twitter at I Love to Lead.
You can find me at TieFlyGuy15.
You can find us both at the same time.
At in_com_plete_2.
Because there's two of us. You can find us on Instagram.
in_com_plete_2.
And all those DMs are open for challenge flags, song requests, guest requests, questions, comments, concerns, topic requests. We ask that if you contact us that you are respectful and stay clothed. But if sliding into someone's DMs is not for you, then you can email us at
in_com_plete@outlook.com. And then, as you see, we're always live on YouTube every Wednesday, 9:15 my time, 8:15 Central, 7:15 Mountain Time, which where most of you probably are, and most importantly, 6:30 p.m. Kelly time. Sorry, 6:15 p.m. Kelly time. But if that's not a good time for you, which I completely understand, it's not. We always still have our audio, which is available 24 to 48 hours after every live we're on. It's actually really 24, 36 hours. But you can find us on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, basically anywhere wherever you find your podcast. All I ask is that you rate and review. Let us know what you're thinking. Tell us anything that we could change. Because as much as we love doing this podcast, But if there is something you want changed and you don't tell us, there's nothing we can do for you. And on that note, and until then, and until next time,
Go Broncos.